put somebody to do what the champions have to do. I have to do this, I did it. But I managed to win 18 times national championship in Romania. And I enjoyed every moment of these 31 years.
Really?
One day my father came out from the job, from his factory, and he said, Florin, you are a national champion in bodybuilding? And I say, no. I was hiding.
Hey guys, welcome. I'm very honored today to have a very special guest. This is a man that trained me about 18 years ago. I'm here with 18-time national bodybuilding champion in Romania, Luciano Florin. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. Really, really good to see you. The first thing we should probably start off with, because people are wondering how the hell I know you, is how we actually met. About 18 years ago in Mamaia, Constanța, my first ever trip to Romania. My best friend had invited me here for a trip. I was like, Romania, where the hell am I going? So he invites me here. He takes me to Mamaia, Grand Hotel Rex. First of all, the place was beautiful. I'm not sure if it's still beautiful. Back then it was beautiful.
It's not working anymore.
No?
It's not. It's not. I don't know if it's after you, precisely after that day.
Right.
What you did there, I don't know.
We destroyed the place. So as we were having lunch one day, my friend Ionut said, we have someone training us. We have a personal trainer. I was like, oh, okay, we have some trainer. I wonder who he is. This guy walks in the door and I'm like, oh, so like you basically have a top bodybuilder training us. And then we learned who you are and we were absolutely honored to be trained by you. And I remember very well, there was a hotel next to Rex called Ioanu or something, Janu.
Oh yeah.
It was Georgi Hagi, the famous Romanian football
player, yes.
It was his hotel.
Yeah,
and
Yaki.
Yaki, that's the
name, yeah.
Yaki. And he used to take us there and that's where he used to train us. And so that's where we met 18 years ago. So that really is as much of an introduction as I can give you. So welcome. Thank you very much for being here. The first thing really I want to ask is, how did you get started in this game? Like, was there a trigger point in your life? Was there something that happened as you were growing up that pushed you into this business, into this field?
A picture.
One picture?
One picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's classical.
That is classic.
That's classical. And but back then in 70s, when I was 15, actually I started about around 14 years old to train at home after a book.
Wow.
It was back then it was a communist era. You cannot get these muscle magazines over here.
Okay.
So I saw a picture. I'm sorry if my English sometimes...
Your English is fine.
Rusted.
No, it's all good.
Okay. And I started to train secretly at home because my parents, I showed them the picture and said, wow, do you want to look like this?
Right.
You know, and I figured it out that it's going to be a problem.
Okay.
I mean, bodybuilding back then, especially in the eastern part of the world, was not very well seen and accepted.
Why?
Because it was a Western sport, and but even in America, in the beginning, it was considered like a cult. People wanted to have big muscles.
Yeah.
What the hell is that for?
Sure.
And that was the beginning, but we have a late start here, and it happened. My parents never saw a bodybuilder before, so they were shocked.
Wow.
I remember about now jumping forward like 5 years when I became a junior national champion.
Right.
My father came alone, not with my mother, came alone to the competition. I was like 19 years old, and he saw junior competition where I won, but we are not so developed. Then the seniors, he saw a guy 30 years old, Gheorghe Huma was his name. It was famous, sixth place in European Championship.
Okay.
He went back home. After the contest, we won. We go with the rest of the gang at the beach in a swimming pool here, over here. And then after about 6 hours after the contest, I arrived home.
Right.
My father still explained to my mother. He said to my mother, you see, that guy did make something like this, and his muscles from here went over his ears. See, he was so impressed.
Yeah.
So the first shock. It's shocking first time when you see a bodybuilder. Now it's more present in the media. You can see pictures.
Completely. It's all over the internet.
Yes. Even I would say that bodybuilding evolved in a direction that after the Arnold era, too much, too big, too cut, too defined, too much veins and so on.
Sure.
Even for me, that I was in love with this image of bodybuilding at that golden era. I would say golden era because it was widely accepted. Many people wanted to look, young people want to look like that, to train and get this type of body like Frank Zane, who came after Arnold at short time and so on, and Arnold, not like these days. I think only very few people would like to go to that level of competition of today.
Yeah. Would you say Arnold pioneered the bodybuilding industry? Because when I think of bodybuilding, I think of Arnold.
He brought this sport to the world.
Yeah.
Outside, everybody find out what is bodybuilding through his movies, not through his careers.
Exactly.
To his movies, everybody saw him. So he's not a really great actor, but
he's a pretty average actor. I don't know how he made it.
But what? At one point, he was the best paid actor in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
After the Terminator, he was very famous. I mean, as a role model for your life, I would say that Arnold Schwarzenegger is one of the best choice you can have as a child.
Absolutely.
Because he was can you tell me another people who was #1 in his sport, world champion at professional level, then top paid actor in Hollywood.
Yep.
Another career of success.
Yep.
First one, second career, then a politician. In California, he was
the mayor of California.
No, governor.
He was the governor of California.
He was the governor of California.
Crazy.
That was at that point. If you take it separately, it was like a 9th economy in the world.
Yeah.
He has 3 careers at the top of their different games.
Insane.
So it's an example of what you can achieve in one lifetime.
Isn't it fascinating how he went to America, broke America, and he's not American? He had a bit of an accent, he sounded a bit foreign, yet he still broke in.
They told him to change his name because it was unpronounceable.
Right. I mean, it still is pretty difficult to pronounce his surname. Nobody knows how to say it properly.
We can pronounce it. Well, he made it famous. Everybody knows who is Arnold.
That's right.
Everybody. You don't have to say, they said you became famous when you don't have to use the second name.
Oh, okay.
So if I say Arnold,
everybody knows that name.
You know who it is.
Absolutely.
I know who it is. You know who it is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So then you know you are famous. You know when you are rich? Somebody else said that. You know?
Yeah.
When you go to a restaurant and you only look at the left side of the menu.
Right, okay. You don't even need to look on the right.
On the money.
Yeah.
You don't look at the money.
Precisely. I'm glad we started with that because Arnold is the pioneer in this industry. Everybody looks up to him. And not just because he had a fascinating body, but also because he was a great personality. He was a nice guy. He never really came across as like arrogant and rude and pretentious. He seemed down to earth from the videos that he's done, even from his most recent documentaries, which you may have seen on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen the Netflix documentary, Arnold.
No, but I know all his history. And because starting then back 77,
right.
When I started, I read every single word that was written about great bodybuilders,
okay.
Especially about Arnold.
Right.
And about his training, how he was training and so on, and what he was saying, the thinking. And I can tell you that sometime now it's because he was a politician, an image. He's a very joyful. He's making jokes all the time,
right?
And he's enjoying the ride, as you say in English.
As you would.
He's enjoying the ride in the gym, in the politics, in the movies, and so on.
Right.
He's enjoying every day of his life.
Sure. As he should. I mean, the man's at the top of the
he's
game.
working. He's a hard worker.
It seems so.
He's a hard worker. As I don't know if you know. I don't know if it was on the Netflix, but he's used to sleep. It's very rare those kind of people. He sleeps only 5 hours per night, and it's okay.
That's
him.
crazy for a bodybuilder, because
Yes.
what new research says is
Yes.
that you should be sleeping 8-9 hours
Yeah,
because
but
your muscles
some people
build.
seems to, not so many, but some people seem to. They said that people that sleep so less they die early.
Yeah.
But he's 75 now.
This man's unstoppable.
Yeah.
He's a unique case. On that note, how many hours do you sleep a night?
About 7 and something.
Right.
7.
Because the modern research would say that your muscles grow when you sleep, not in the gym, not during the day.
Yeah, it's true.
So a lot of stuff is saying that you should sleep 9-10 hours as a bodybuilder if you're really trying to pack on muscle and size and strength.
Well, not only when you sleep, even during the day, not in the first stage after the training. First stage is recovery.
Sure.
Then you grow in the night, but during the day also you eat. There are plenty of nourishment in the blood.
Yeah.
What are you gonna go do? You wait for the night? No. It's building every moment. If you are not training again, if you do the mistake to train again, it's gonna stop growing.
When you say train again, are you saying train twice in one day?
The same? No, I'm saying the same muscle before it's recovered, and then you give him time also to grow. So you have first stage, few hours, few days, depends of the amount of training you did, and the heavier the training, the more intense the training, and with the depends of the weights, and how much you pushed the muscle, how much impulse you give it to him.
Sure.
You need probably even 7 days to recover.
Wow.
So you don't train the same muscle group as an athlete. When you are a runner, every day you use the same muscles.
Right.
But it's not very hard, not very intense exercise for the muscles. It's an aerobic exercise. When you go out of bed, you have your metabolism is like that when you stay lying in the bed.
Okay.
Like this. When you wake up and start working, it's going steadily up. But when you train with weights, it's jumping.
Right.
So you cannot keep that kind of intensity of training like a runner, like a marathon can keep going for 2 hours. No, you cannot do 2 hours with 100 kilos bench press or genuflexions. Latin English, it's squats.
Sure. Yeah, 2 hours of squats is not a wise idea.
Yeah, you cannot do it because it's too much intensity, too heavy.
Yeah.
You cannot do it. So you need to rest a lot more than a runner, a lot more than a swimmer probably, where it's a repetitive movement, but it's not the heaviest point. Every 7 reps, you cannot, you are choking of this so much effort.
So at this age, and you told me it was fine to say at 61, which
I'm okay.
You look absolutely solid for 61. Are you still pushing yourself in the gym to the point of exertion? So like failure or final rep is very difficult and you're trying to push through, or you just maintain your body at this stage?
This is a quite interesting story to tell about this. After I stopped competing, you see, I competed until I was 46.
Okay.
Starting from 15 to 46. So about 31 years.
You were competing at 15 years old in the competition?
Yes, junior.
What? So you won it at 15 as a junior?
If I won it.
Did you win?
No, the first competition I was second place.
Oh, okay.
Then I went to nationals.
And how old were you when you won at nationals?
16.
16 when you won at nationals?
Yeah.
And it was legal to compete at 16?
At the junior. It was between whatever age and 21.
Okay.
Then senior, competition for seniors.
Wow.
And I competed only with guys until they reached 21.
Okay.
So I won, and then I won for 5 straight years. Actually, this is a kind of a record. Number of titles as a junior.
Okay.
Nobody has it so far. 5 titles as a junior.
Wow.
In Romania, I don't know in the world. I have no idea.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. How many titles? How many hours? Everybody asks, how many hours do you train? How many? Of course, if you know as an information, so you know how to train. But everybody, if there is a champion in other sports, there's how many hours as a gymnast? How many hours you train? And they say, I train 8 hours per day. We stay at the gym as a gymnast.
Yeah.
But they do a lot of stretching, a lot of repetition, a lot of balancing, and so on. It's not the case with bodybuilding. You can finish yourself up in half an hour. if you really want.
I like that.
Yeah, and well, usually I train a lot more, like 1 hour and a half and 2 hours. I usually work more than everyone because I do 16 sets per body part. And,
what?
16
sets?
16 sets per body part. Wow. I choose 2 exercises and so on. I tried with a lot more. I didn't care but for me it's not about how much do you work, how tired you are.
Sure.
I just wanted to win.
Right.
So what do I have to do?
What do you have to do to win? Yeah.
Yeah, and I tried, and I used 4 sets, 6 sets, 12 sets, and so on. And at the point where I go after 16 sets, I was trying with 24, with 30 sets, and so on. It was a guy back then, Greg DeFerro. He was doing 52 sets.
52 sets in one session?
Set in per muscle group. And in America, and it was in Bodybuilding magazine. At one point, we started to get the bodybuilding magazines here. So I read it, and I say, let's try it.
Okay.
I was trying everything possible, just wanted to win.
Of course.
I didn't care how much, how heavy, I have to win.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I enjoy to stay in the gym. Some people go there and they feel, I'm tired, I have to do this one. I don't want to work so hard.
Yeah.
You see, there is a saying that everybody wants to be a champion until the point you put him to do what the champions are doing.
Yes.
I never drink for until I was 46, for example.
No alcohol?
No alcohol, only on a New Year's Eve party.
Wow.
This amount of champagne in a glass.
Look at the discipline.
That was my alcohol for the whole year.
Wow.
So put somebody to do what the champions have to do. I have to do this. I did it because I wanted to win, and I won it for 18 times. And in 30 years, in 31 years, I was sometimes second place, sometimes third, but I managed to win 18 times national championship in Romania, and I enjoyed every moment of these 31 years.
Really?
And even after that, because I stopped competing, it was like this. At 45, I went to the championship, and I made it. I won. Okay, I said the competition started to become very tough for me, and I was starting of kind of declining as a competitor.
It's hard to see you declining, to be honest. That moment, how does it feel at that point where you're like?
Well, I said as long as I am in the top 3, get a medal.
Okay,
it doesn't matter.
Right.
I am not. I shouldn't be so.
Greedy, maybe.
Not like greedy. I shouldn't be ashamed about the fact that I was a big champion losing to. I was still getting those. So I was the first place at 45.
Right.
Went the next year, said, well, competition come tough, but if I am in the top 3 for 46 years old, it's okay. And I went straight to the 5th place.
Oh.
From the first, next year, 5th place.
Okay.
And I said, now it's time to stop.
You were like, I didn't get a podium, I didn't get a medal.
Yeah, it's time to stop. I mean, I wanted, but I couldn't help. I was getting old. And I concentrated. I already started to be a trainer, personal trainer, work. So it was like a journey that I enjoyed all the time because I love this sport from the very beginning, from the very picture.
Yeah.
When I was training alone in my bedroom, my parents never knew I was a national champion, for a junior national champion. They say I was kind of looking muscular,
right.
But I said we play handball at the high school, we do push-ups and so on, and then I was not exaggerated because back then it wasn't so much like exploding and so on.
Sure.
And they one day my father came out from the job, from his factory, and he said, Florin, you are a national champion in bodybuilding? And I say, no. I was hiding. I said, no. I said, because a colleague from the job told me that he saw you in the newspaper.
No way.
I said, maybe somebody with the same name me. I mean, it's not impossible. And he said, but he said it's in your high school. I said, he's narrowing. He said, maybe I will search up, maybe somebody else with the name in the...
You still tried to hold
I was trying because I was afraid of his reaction.
Oh, God.
Because the first reaction 2 years ago was a very negative reaction.
Sure.
And I was trying to go undetected. And he said, yeah, but he showed me your picture.
Oh.
I didn't know that was in the magazine. I didn't know he has a picture. Oh, no. So I kept denying until the last moment. And I said, well, the sport teacher forced me to do this, but they'll help me with the school. Right. You know, like in America, when they give you, they help scholarship in the university and so on.
Yeah.
And then I have to recognize that I am doing it, but I said only in the sports hour and so on.
Okay.
And I still competing. And then my father came to the competition first time after 5 years.
Oh, nice.
And he saw and was shocked.
Yeah. And did he accept it at that point?
No, I said after the high school I was gonna end up.
Oh, you told him you would
stop? Yeah, I will keep learning. This is important, so on.
So you were lying the whole time to Dad. You're like.
But then I went to the sport university, and I did bodybuilding trainer school.
Okay, yeah.
After the high school, I went there.
Right.
And after 2 years, I become a certificate trainer. Yeah. It's a different here. We have instructors. You can make it in a school like 4 weeks or something.
Yeah.
And this is an instructor, but a trainer, you have to do 2 years in a university.
Okay, so you did that. You did 2
I
years
did this one, and I used this even before I stopped competing. Before that,
right.
I started to train around 95, like about 30 years ago almost.
I want to just stop you there. I have a bunch of questions, but because this is so interesting, I don't even need to look at them anymore. You said you were training at home when you were young, in your room.
Yes.
What exercises were you doing in your room? Did you have any weights or was it all body resistance?
No, all body resistance.
Okay.
I was using books to step on them and do calves.
Okay.
I was doing push-ups. I was doing squat on one leg. Oh. I remember there is that towel bar where you put the towel in the bathroom.
Yeah.
It came out of the wall.
Of course it came out of the wall. What were you doing with it?
I didn't know it was going to come out of the wall. Yeah.
Oh.
And then I started to train. I found it started at my school. It happens, you know, it's like a miracle. The man that wrote the book I was training after this, it was a husband, I didn't know, it was a husband of the... my teacher sport. It was
your sports teacher,
that lady was married with that guy writing the bodybuilding books in Romania.
Right.
I didn't know. I saw him running at one point in the high school gym.
Yeah.
Inside. Then I said to her, because I didn't know him, I think I know this guy. Isn't him on the bodybuilding book, the last cover? And he said, yeah, he's my husband.
No way.
And she's asking him to come. He's reading your books, if you want to write on his book and so on. And he's looking at me and he said, do you want to train to make, I would think to making here a small gym and to have a competition, club.
Sure.
And so on, go to competitions. And I say, well, yes. And then I started in high school to train.
Okay, so you started training.
So I trained in high school, and they keep adding more and more weights and so on and so on. And I was training like I was coming alone every Saturday. Back then, Saturday, there is nobody in the school but the doorman.
Right.
That one, keeping the gates closed.
Sure.
And I was in the gym every Saturday to train. Nobody else was coming.
Wow.
From the other members of the team.
Yeah.
I was coming there. I have to train. I know I need to train because I want to be a champion.
Yeah.
And I made it.
So you had that champion mindset from a very young age. You had that win from the moment you saw that picture of Arnold.
You say mindset. I would say that desire to win and the joy to enjoy the process.
So you genuinely enjoyed lifting weights?
Yeah, I was making jokes in between sets. I was competing with other guys, and so it was, for me, it was very easy to go to the gym, and it was like I was going to train, like you go to the club.
Sure.
You know, you go to those clubs. I was in a different kind of clubs,
right.
Competing clubs.
Right, exactly.
You know, but I enjoyed it as much as you did, I'm sure. Even without alcohol, even without that. Right. I mean, for me, that matters more than countless bottles of wine or beer or something.
Of course.
So then, in the process, I become a well-known trainer, and then I train Playboy girls.
Romanian Playboy girls.
Yeah, Romanian.
Ooh.
Singers, wow. Romanian singers, famous
Lovely.
Singers, and I train also regular peoples.
Sure.
And at one point I was asked to go to morning show on TV.
Nice.
And they saw me. They figured it out that I can speak also, not just lifting weights.
Helpful. That's useful.
That because I was not dumb, I was able to keep a show for a few years.
Okay.
That made me famous, and I was having a lot more clients.
Right.
And that improved my life. So I was actually step by step discovered my hobby.
Yeah.
Then I was very good at it.
Yeah.
In time. And I think this is because I learned a lot, because I was reading. Right. I learned the English because I read the muscle magazines. Because I didn't know, I was very bad on English. My English was very poor. I was barely passing each year. But because of the bodybuilding magazine, I was, in one hand was a dictionary, one hand the bodybuilding magazine. But because the words keep repeating in the regular life.
Right.
After I use it 2-3 times, I remember the word.
Okay.
I was so eager to learn from those muscle magazine. I was learning English, actually, because of this. So then, after discovering my hobby, I made a living out of my hobby, finding people to pay me to do my hobby.
That's insane.
So I would say that is a famous quote. They're saying that if you discover your hobby and you can work on this, you'll never have to work one day in your life.
Correct.
Because sometimes there are too many clients, and I was getting tired. So it's not like a hobby can be overwhelming sometimes, but it helps me do my other things I enjoy in life, like traveling.
Yeah.
And building my house and so on, and you need money to raise a kid and to have it. Now I have a grandkid, only 6 months old, and so on. And I enjoy being a grandfather also. I like being a father also.
Sure. With
my daughter, I was running with her in the parks with the chronometer.
Lovely.
Yes, I was competing on ice creams with her. If she's doing a better time like yesterday, she's going to get an ice cream. Yeah.
Okay.
And so on, and so on, and so on.
The thing I liked about what you were saying is the discipline that's required to make it. No alcohol till you are 45.
I wouldn't say for me it was like a discipline, something imposed from outside. I just have to do it, and I did it. It's like every profession. I don't think in top. If you want to be a top of your game, you have to do what the champions do.
Yeah.
As I said before, so I didn't say that it's imposed. I just thought it's better to do it this way. I just searched for the better ways.
Sure.
You know, lately they say that alcohol is not really good for your body.
Terrible for your body.
I mean, yeah, it's just a toxin.
Absolutely.
So, but I didn't choose because of this.
Right.
I would say that alcohol and sport doesn't mix well. I didn't care. I was always go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Wow.
Well, I was attending weddings and ceremonies in my family, and sometimes I have to stay late. I did whatever I have to do with joy. I didn't feel like it's imposed or difficult. It wasn't difficult.
Yeah.
For some people, it's difficult.
Of course, because they feel like they're sacrificing. They say in life, to achieve what you need to achieve, which is what you were doing as a bodybuilding champ, you have to sacrifice going out, sacrifice clubbing, sacrifice alcohol, sacrifice maybe chasing girls.
If you feel like you are sacrificing something for your goal, you are not in the right field. You don't love it so much that you don't love it.
Right.
You just doing it if you feel that it's imposed,
Yeah.
you ruin your life.
Right, okay.
Because you suffer.
You do suffer. You're constantly battling, like,
Yes.
oh, I'm not going out tonight because I'm
My
doing
friends
this.
are going to. I used to have a guy in that early beginning at the gym that said, I don't want to come in competition anymore to the teacher, that writer of the books, because my friends are going to the parties Friday night and so on, and I don't have time to go to the parties because I'm tired from the gym. I don't want to come anymore.
Wow.
And I was looking at him and said, what the hell is he talking about? I mean, and we split. And after about 30 years, everything I say measures in 20, 50, 30 years because of my age, of course. And after years and years passing by, I heard from his sister. I met her, and he said he has a heart attack.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if he would go with the sport.
Sure.
Would have probably avoid or delay
Probably
a lot
would
of.
have avoided it.
With the sport, you have something. I want to two things I want to tell you. Muscle is. I read so much about bodybuilding during the year because it was my passion. Even now, I look at the medical materials about muscles and so on, bones and so on. So I come to the conclusion. Muscles are. How you say in English, the biggest metabolic organ of the body.
Okay.
It regulates a lot of things. It's not just moving you.
Okay.
You know that calves muscle just pumps blood up.
Right.
It's like a second heart to your body.
Wow.
Okay. When you have varicose veins,
Yes.
on it's supposed to. You have in other places also. You have to check yourself. In my family, we have varicose veins. My sister, my mother operated.
I have varicose veins actually here on my calf and on my leg. You can see spider veins. They come out, and you can see the superficial vein, in particular this one.
But if you start bodybuilding early,
right,
before they're surfacing, before they're like I did it at 14 years old. If you start, they never came up, and I avoided. So. Maybe you started later.
So actually what happened to me, I started early. I was training from 16 years old and I was training heavy with a guy who was...
You did calves back then?
I did calves, I did legs. You know where it changed for me? When I was 21, I had a job in the city in London, and it was very stressful. Waking up early, sleeping late, going out with clients and drinking alcohol and also smoking. So I was trying to...
Hot.
I was trying... Yeah, sure, take it off, no worries. And then you can end up showing them your muscles at 61. Let them see.
Well, muscles, yeah.
So with all that drinking and smoking for a year to entertain clients, to make money, I started struggling to walk on my left leg. I said, what's going on? I'm 21 years old. I checked my leg and I saw the vein started coming out. Straight to the doctor to say, what the hell is going on here? He checked me with a monitor to check the levels of blood flow going up and down my leg. And he said, no problem. Your main vein that's transporting blood back up to your heart is operating efficiently. The other veins that are superficial, it's called superficial thrombophlebitis. The other veins, they only transport 10% of blood back to your heart, so it's not a big deal if they're not working, you can go home. I was like, what? Dude, I'm 21 and I have this? So it came from drinking every night, not sleeping well, being stressed, and smoking every day with clients.
I would say, I'm not a doctor, but consider that I read a lot about everybody has a genetic makeup.
Yeah.
You are you have a predisposition for certain diseases.
Correct.
Like I did for this one, and I avoid it completely.
Wow. You don't have any varicose veins, no spider veins?
No. But I have all my teeth in my mouth, for example.
Good to see.
At 61. I was to a dentist to get the tartar and so on, and he said, if everybody would be like you, I would be broke.
Wow.
I mean, you can keep your body in very good condition. We don't supposed to be ill as persons.
I agree.
But because of smoking, polluted air in cities. I was recently in India. You cannot see in India, in New Delhi, you cannot see 300 meters let's like 900 feet in England. You cannot see the buildings.
Wow.
300 meters.
The air pollution.
Air pollution. We don't see it here in Europe because we have regulation and so on, but there is very bad. I travel a lot. I never saw something like that.
Wow.
They are having problems because of this.
Yeah.
Obvious. They are like smoking 2 packs of cigars per day, just breathing there, just breathing in that town. And but if you manage to keep your muscles in order,
yeah,
working out, not necessarily in the gym, but it's easier to do it in the gym because you have a constant environment.
Yeah.
If you work out outside in the park and so on, it's very good outside.
Yeah.
But then in the winter, when it's raining, when it's cold, what you do?
Well, there should be no excuse, according to you. The dedication should be, I don't care, I need to be a champion, I'm going to do it. If it's cold, if it's raining,
yeah,
with your mentality, people should keep going.
Yeah, I remember when that back then in our dictator era in communist time, they said at 6 o'clock there is I don't know, curfew, when you don't have to...
a curfew, yeah, when you're not allowed out
to do something, okay?
Yeah.
After 6 o'clock, they stop the light. Oh, you cannot open the light in the gyms and so on.
Okay.
Because it was a very big restriction. I think we are exporting some electricity.
Right.
And I was training at the candles, like grandfathers in the villages, in the woods. But I still train. I didn't care.
That was truly Arnold Schwarzenegger style, where he's lifting the tree in Commando. You see him lifting this tree. And
I would say that if you keep yourself in a clean air, if you move your body, because we are made to move,
exactly,
not to stay. The most dangerous, a specialist, not me, go to these cubicles for employees in a corporation,
yeah,
and they working on computers and so on,
yeah,
and he came there to give a speech, and they asked, what is the most problematic things we are doing here? What the worst thing, worst object for our health here?
Yeah.
And he said, it's our screen. He said, no, it's the chair.
Oh.
Because you stay on the chair all day long. And the flow of your body.
Yeah.
And recently, even for your eyes, you don't supposed to be like an animal. We are speaking like the human animal. To sit with your eyes concentrated at this distance for hours.
Okay.
You have to go straight, get out of the chair, and look in the
distance.
In the distance. Look, as we say, we are made to look in the mountains, in the forests.
Exactly.
We are made to enjoy the view,
correct,
the distance, not just looking at something very close all day long.
Yeah.
And the people now, I can see people now, even when you go in the subway, when you go on the street, when they're crossing the street, they don't look for the cars.
I know.
They just
head down.
Head down, and just this is very wrong.
That's right.
We are going in a very wrong direction. We are children. If they keep doing like this and the pollution is keep going up, our children will die before our generation. I mean, not a shorter life. They're gonna die in our lifetime.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
If my child will go in New Delhi to live there, she's gonna die before me.
Wow.
Speaking of this, going to the gym, what it is important to keep your biggest metabolic organ, the muscles. Why this? Because statistically, an obese woman that is going to the gym and work out is going to outlive a slender, normal weight woman that is not doing anything for her as sport.
Yeah.
You know, and the rest of the habits being equal.
Exactly.
I mean, we have to put in this correlation.
Sure.
I mean, you see, food, speaking about food, for example.
Yeah, I was going to ask about your diet. How strict are you? Because I remember back then.
I was very strict back then.
You were super strict back then.
And I used supplements like protein and vitamins and so on. We got them very late in our, after revolution, we got them. Right. We didn't have that back then. I was eating basically the same food every day, next day.
Which was what? What was the same food?
I was starting with fish at home.
Okay.
then after I get employed at 20, I service in the military as it was compulsory. I think it's obligatory. Well,
yeah, compulsory.
Compulsory, it's okay. And I finished it at 20. Then I went to a job, and after 5 years I managed to escape the job and just be full trainer and live after that of the training. And I was eating fish in the morning.
Okay. In the morning?
That was the only part of the time when I can eat something like meat.
Right, okay.
We cannot find meat here back then.
Oh, I see.
There is an allowance, like 4 eggs per month. You have by address, you go to them and buy some quantity of foods back then. They are exporting a lot because the dictator wanted to pay our debt. And he managed. We are the only country in the world that paid the whole debt.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I was so fish in the morning.
Yeah, fish in the morning.
Two fish.
Okay.
2. This size.
Yeah.
Mackerel. That's mackerel.
Mackerel, yeah.
Okay. That was the only fish you can find almost.
Right. Okay.
Well, the only. It was frozen.
So that was breakfast.
That was breakfast.
Right.
Then I went to the job with a jar of beans.
Okay.
Beans, because it has a lot of
What
protein.
do they call it here? Fasole or something?
Fasole, yes.
That's the one.
Beans. And then I have some 2 small yogurt with me.
Yeah.
And then after the gym, I came home, ate whatever my family was cooking, my mother and my father, until I break, not free, break from my family.
Right.
I would say break free. I live on my own. Then came a revolution, and step by step we have to start to having proteins from milk, concentrated. And because I was already many times national champion at that point, so I was 27 when the revolution came, and I immediately have a sponsor. It was very helpful. Because I didn't think I eat enough protein in my food before revolution. Because I can get so many food.
I mean, it's hard to, as you said.
It was hard to, yeah. And because it gave me a boost.
Sure.
Because having not enough food, then having plenty of food, it's helping me. And then, and it was constant learning how to train, to improve the training. To improve the efficiency. And then I started to work with clients a lot, especially after revolution. And my first clients, because it was not usual here to ask somebody to train you in bodybuilding, I was asked by some foreigners. First, they call me, they say, you are a national champion, we saw you in TV and so, can you train us? And it was from United States.
Okay.
2 guys, one working in a bank, one working on International Monetary Fund, representing this institution here. And then I expanded my portfolio with singers. And then
the Playboy models sounds like the most interesting one to me.
Yeah, they came later though.
Okay, fine.
They came later.
This is after you were married or before you were married?
I was married all along. I was married before the revolution.
Right, okay.
And okay.
You didn't meet your wife in the gym, did you? How did you meet her, for example? Since you were spending so much time in the gym, where did you
she was competing back then before getting married. Then she stopped.
Okay. She was competing?
She was competing.
In the same, in bodybuilding?
In bodybuilding, yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay, but only for 2 years. Then after the revolution, the tribulation of life and so on, I get a divorce, not because of the Playboy girls.
Okay, yeah.
I have to mention this.
Yeah.
And the way we just separated, and I was then just staying with my little girl.
Yeah.
I was getting there, the divorce, I get there and raised her, and I teach her that food means protein, fiber, carbohydrates. Some people say it's a steak, it's a hamburger. No, it's not a hamburger. It's bread. Bread, it's carbohydrates food.
Sure.
This one is, I teach her what means the principle of food. It's very helpful for her now.
Right.
Because all her life we're gonna know what I am eating. It's not a steak, it's a protein meal.
Right.
And so on, and it's useful. I mean, you can enjoy it. Yeah. It's good, it's tasting good, but you have to know what is inside, what you are eating.
Which these days is very difficult to know because we're going to the supermarket, we don't know what's sprayed, what's pumped into the animal. Where are you getting your food? How do you know what the quality of your food is? You're buying it from, I don't know, the supermarkets here. Do we know what's happening in our food these days? I mean, they're pumping it with rubbish because it's commercialized. So are you buying it from a farm? Do we eat organic? How do we know what we're actually eating?
We have here, it's not so advanced with this organic here. You can find some organic food. Here we have village people that have some small
farms.
So very small land. They're growing some crops like tomatoes, cabbage, and so on. But I come to a conclusion. Some people are going to be upset of this. There are two things to consider. We're going to go about then after this about frozen food and fresh food. Okay, so we have those flea market, or how we call them, when people come from the countryside and sell.
Farmers market.
Farmers market, okay. Yeah. Now, what is happening, and I studied I'm not saying I'm right, but listen to me. A small farmer has few hundred square meters or yards, or I don't know how many yards. We have then how they are growing the crops. They put tomatoes, okay? They don't have machines because they don't need machine for small parcels. Yeah. Okay, so they take the stuff they're spreading in the hand and doing like this, like on old times. Yeah. You ever see those? Or
I mean, yeah, like sowing the seeds, literally throwing it with their hands. Yeah.
Also, the fertilizer, the anti-bugs stuff and so on, that you're supposed to be a certain quantity because it becomes toxic if it's too much. Sure. So they're doing like this.
So we don't know how much they're putting on.
So in one cabbage, if he's having cabbage, okay, he's having, because he throw by hand, it can end up the whole anti-bug stuff
on that cabbage. Yeah.
And the next one, nothing.
Right.
Okay, so if you go to buy from the market, from this, how you call them?
Supermarket?
Not supermarket.
Oh, the farmer's market.
The farmer's market, okay. The small, when he's going and sell his stuff there. Yeah. What kind, you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know what you are getting. The good one or the bad one.
Right, interesting.
So it's difficult. Now, the big companies, they have hundreds and acres, you say in English. And you have those machines that are coming behind the tractor. And at every plant there, like a syringe, they have precise quantity.
Precise, yeah. They're regulated. They're big companies. They have to be efficient.
They have to be. They cannot afford to give too much. They want to give the minimum because it's costly.
Exactly.
So they give it the minimum. Now, also they can be controlled. If the government it's sending controls. Yeah. They take a sample, one piece of cabbage, let's say, and it's controlling it, how much pesticide, how much, and they can see it. Okay. And every cabbage in his crop has the same quantity because it was sprayed with these machines that are precise. Okay, so what's the best to buy? The one in the big farms or one in the small lots?
That's really interesting. I thought completely opposite. I was here sitting thinking organic is better because they don't spray with too much.
No, organic is supposed not spraying. Sure. There is a difference between organic and bio. They have different names, and they mean something different. Okay. Yeah. Most people don't know there is a difference between organic and bio, and then now let's talk about the fresh.
Fresh
Everybody
versus frozen?
Says farmers, fresh versus, so farmers. Yeah. Or in the supermarket where they have a big stock of, okay, they're coming, let's say here, they're coming from Poland, apples. Yeah. Okay. They travel with the train, yes? Yeah. Now, when they take the apple from the tree, they don't take it when it's precisely ripe.
Ripe, yes.
Ripe.
Yeah.
Because it has to travel a lot. They say going to ripe in 1 week.
Okay.
So it's not at the fully ripe.
Sure.
It doesn't have the most amount, the biggest amount of vitamins and so on, because it's not finished yet. Okay. It's taken before. Yeah. Okay. It's traveling. They think it has to stay 1 week in the supermarket. Yeah. They're not buying it in 1 hour. Yeah. It travels 1 week by train. It stay 1 week there, but when it's frozen, what is happening? The companies that it's frozen those legumes, vegetables, and so on, they harvest it at the exact point where they're fully ripe, and then they have to frozen in less than 1 hour. Because why? Because they lose weight, dehydration.
Okay.
Because they dehydrated, and they lose 10%. They're losing the weight they're selling. So they have to be fast. So you get fully ripe and very fast frozen. So when you defrost it, it's, I would say, in my opinion, I'm not saying somebody will gonna say I'm not right, but you see my point? It's better to have frosted one.
Interesting.
Frosted
frozen fruit, frozen vegetables.
Tree, those fruits that grow in the forest, that berries and so on. If they're frosted, they're fully ripe. They didn't have to travel. Now, if most people know only about bananas. They think they are taking like 3 weeks before they're ripe. And they're not yellow, they're green, and they travel 3 weeks to Europe, and so on. So they're not cooked in the tree when they're supposed to.
They're cooked on the way to the.
On the way, but they don't have. They're not fueled with from the tree. So which one is best? Berries that are frozen, or berries that are traveling and they are ending up.
That's so interesting.
You have to know that chain of events that's happening to the nobody thinks about. I'm going to the village people. I buy this. It's fresh. It's supposed to be better than the one. But if you dissecate this and every step, and you think a little, actually, what is best? Now, you make your own opinion about that. That's my opinion.
You've just busted the myth of fresh versus frozen, because everyone in general would say, oh, let me go and buy some fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. Oh, look, it's here, it's fresh. It must have just come off the tree a few days ago.
It's not.
It's like the opposite.
2 weeks probably.
Wow.
And every day an apple, after it was taken from the tree, it loses a percent of vitamin C every day. So after, I don't know how many weeks, I don't remember, I don't have in my memory now. After a few weeks, it doesn't have any vitamin C.
That's insane.
I don't remember how many weeks it takes.
So you recommend people to buy frozen fruit and vegetables?
Yeah, if you frozen, the vitamin C stays there because it's frozen. It doesn't
lose its nutrients. It just
evolves.
Exactly.
It doesn't keep growing, keep changing, and so on.
Does the same apply to meat and chicken and beef? Should you freeze that, or is that okay to?
Freezing it delaying the how should I say? It's delaying the bacteria. They're not growing on this food. See, and it keeps it fresh. That it can stay a lot. The bacteria cannot grow in the very cold environment. That's the only thing it does. So fresh, it's if it doesn't have a lot of bacteria, it's just cut the back just right there. It's as good as frozen and defrost. No problem. It can change texture. Some meat can change texture if it's frozen. Only that, but it doesn't destroy protein or in other foods, carbohydrates or whatever it has, fats and so on. It doesn't destroy it.
Okay. I want to move on here because this is a very interesting topic in today's world. A lot of the new age bodybuilders you see on Instagram and YouTube, there's this famous saying now with the kids, they say natty or not. Natty is natural or not natural. And a lot of the comments that the bodybuilders are getting is steroids, steroids, this guy on steroids, he's on steroids. So all of the conversation is, here's a bodybuilder, is he on steroids or not? That's what all of the comments are in the social media of that particular person's post. So
you can figure it out. I would say the best decision I made when I was back then at 16, 17 years old was to stay natural. I congratulate myself
Good stuff.
For this one, because now at 61, I can hope for a very long life.
Yeah.
I am aiming for 110.
Wow. Why 110? Why not 100? Why the 10? There's a specific...
I don't know why. I can't say really.
Okay.
Just... and I can say... you see, the doctors are telling you when you grow old, you suppose to become weaker and so on.
Yeah.
But I said, who are they to tell me? And I discovered that now at 61, I remember the weights I was using in 91 when I was like 30 years ago. No, more than 91, like 32, 33 years ago. When I was in my 30s, I was doing like with 40 kilograms dumbbells.
Right.
I can do 10 reps back then.
Okay.
Now at 61, if you put me now on the trial, I can do 17 reps with the same weight. I was at 30 years old. What? I was doing only 10. So
you're doing more reps now.
So, and I can use bigger weights. I can go to 50 per hand, only 3 reps. So I would say they are. I'm not saying that they are just lab rats and so on. They don't know about this. But this sport is quite new in the history of humankind.
Right.
So they don't know what it's all about. I'm not saying my muscles are bigger, because they're not, but they can handle more weight. Sure. I can be stronger, and I can do more reps. That is more resistance in time with the same weight as I did 30 years ago. Sure. So I would say that who are they to tell me if I can do it?
Sure.
So just stay natural. Yeah. If you want to be at 60 as good as or better than you were in your 30s. And I was competing there. I was not just not training and so on, and now I start training, obvious you got stronger. Sure. I was working very hard for already for 14 years.
Wow.
So you can do it, but you stay natural. Yeah. And this is the end of discussion. There is no... maybe with this one, I can convince you. Just stay natural.
That's wonderful.
Okay. There is no doubt that if you take those steroids, that is the synthetic male hormone.
Exactly.
That is it. Yeah. Steroids, that is it. Natural, synthetic testosterone.
Yes, people are injecting TRT into their legs to fuel their testosterone up. I mean, what's happening in today? This is madness. They just want
you are messing up with your hormonal system. As soon as the body detects, that was the reason, because I was reading about this, and that was the reason I was decided when I was 16 that I will never touch this stuff.
Right.
And as soon as you take them, your body detects there is something extra there. Yeah. Now, your body, it's a homeostatic, I don't want to use fancy words because we are not here, maybe some people don't understand, but let's be simple. Your body tries to keep your same temperature, okay? Yeah. What is doing, when you are getting cold, it's shaking your muscle to produce heat, okay? When it's going the other way, too hot, it's releasing some water. So drop your weight. Why? He's trying to keep your temperature in a certain range.
In a range,
okay. What is doing if you eat too much sugar? It's releasing insulin to keep your sugar in a certain range. Yeah. This means homeostatic organism. He wants to keep your acidity in your blood at certain range. Yeah. So if you come up with this extra hormones from outside, he detects you have too much in your blood. And he's trying to keep this in a certain range. He's going to drop his production.
Ah, that's right.
Okay, dropping his production under normal. Yeah. Now you are joking with this, playing with these steroids and so on. Stop them. Your body, maybe you're gonna go up again and start the same production as before. Yeah. But after these few cycles, I don't know how many because it depends of the person. You don't go up again. You end up with your production very low.
Wow.
You're gonna end up with the production of a very old man.
Wow.
You are 25 and you're going to have the production of one 75 years old male. It's that good?
Crazy. No, that's terrible.
Yeah, because what is happening? Your gland that is producing the testes, that's producing testosterone, they're shrinking.
That goes with the famous myth of men that take steroids get shrinky balls, so their balls get smaller.
Because of this.
That's actually true.
Because they are taking steroids. So you destroy your glands.
Wow.
You destroy. You don't use an organ, you lose it.
So they don't need to produce the testosterone? So
because you bring it from outside.
Exactly.
Too much from outside, and you said, no, we have too much. Yeah. Let's stop our production.
Slow it down. Exactly.
Because we want to keep it in a certain range.
Yeah.
Like the temperature, like your blood acidity, like your sugar. By the way, the quantity it needs you to get out of this range to get you in is just a sugar.
A tablespoon of sugar.
A tablespoon of sugar, yes.
Every day.
Circulating in your body more than that.
Oh, okay.
But if you have a big muscle, muscular body, big muscles, you have a muscle, you have that metabolic organ that I'm talking about that can take this carbohydrate and put it in the cells.
Right.
It's complicated to discuss about now, but that insulin release that you are making when you're eating, this is the sickness of our society now. This diabetes and so on, how it's going on, how it's happening. Because doctors, until now, I don't know now what is going on in United Kingdom, in your country.
Yeah, I live in the United States now, and there's, there's all sorts going on. It's all
now,
artificial.
if you go, but if you go at the doctor, when you are in 20s, let's say, they measure your blood sugar. Okay, they say, oh, it's okay. It's in the range. Okay, you keep going, sweets and too much sugars and so on. That stuff we didn't have 100 years ago.
Yeah,
we didn't have sugar back then, refined sugar to put in the cookies and so on. Okay, so they measure you at 20. You keep eating, but your body develop insulin resistance because you have so many muscle cells. You fill them up with carbohydrates. Where are they going to go next? It stays in your blood. The body is desperate. They want to lower that sugar blood, and they're going to produce more insulin.
Right.
Okay. They come again. So when you are 20, you are using an amount of insulin to correct this problem. 10 years after that, take again your measurements. Okay. They say, oh, it's okay, it's in the same range. But how many grams of milligrams or whatever is your body releasing in your body to get rid of extra? It's increased.
Right.
If they don't measure how much insulin you are releasing in your blood, after another 10 years, when you are 40, they measure again. Okay, you are in the range. At the 50, they say, oh, you have diabetes.
Right.
They say, why? Every 10 years I measure it, and it's okay. But no, every 10 years, if they would measure how much insulin you release to counteract that sugar in your blood, it's increased more and more until it's your pancreas is no longer able to do it. You finish it.
That's right.
And because of this, you are from not ill, you are suddenly in your mind, you are going ill, but your body was screaming all day long.
All the time.
For every 10 years, they give you signals.
Right.
They should measure how much. It's another type of measurement, not only the blood in the sugar.
Right. So that's what everyone's saying in today's day is sugar is the enemy, not fat. The whole idea.
Yes, I was growing in an environment, they say the fat.
Yeah.
The yolk of the egg was thrown away.
Yeah, ridiculous.
When I was in 95, first time when I would travel to America, before I started working there as a personal trainer in San Francisco, I went to the restaurant, for example, with my friend from America, and you are able to, they throw the yolks. They made white only omelette.
Whites,
egg whites. They called it power.
Some protein power, whatever they call it.
No, they call them I was in Santa Monica, and they have power pancakes with protein. They have egg white only omelette and so on.
Yeah.
Now it's like a paradigm. It's changed. The yolk, it's good.
Exactly.
The fats are not so bad. They're good. the enemy of the body is not the fat, it's the carbohydrate.
Right.
And especially when you are not doing something like workout in the gym, or running, or working in the field as villages are doing, or doing something, and in the towns we are not doing. We are just going down from apartments in general and go in the tube or subway.
On your phone
metro.
down here, sitting on the computer for
then
10, 12
you
hours.
Do nothing. And the sugar you are ingesting because you like, they're good. We have to admit,
of course
they're good.
It tastes good, yeah.
And where there is going, you have to push it in the cells. You cannot have it in the blood because the body doesn't want to have it in the blood because you end up in the coma.
Yeah, yeah.
So too little sugar gets you in the coma, too much sugar in the blood gets you in the coma.
Sure.
So the body has this insulin, he's releasing desperately, trying to regulate this.
Yeah.
And we are not thinking about that. We think, oh, it's good, it's your birthday. Come to the job with a lot of cookies and give it to you with a bigger cake and so on, celebration. I'm not saying we cannot celebrate, but it's better to have a bigger muscle all over your body. It takes more carbohydrates inside.
Right, okay.
So that's a very good example of. Now there are other reasons also that it's good to be have a strong body at the old age, especially. You know that 17% of the people that after the age of 65 that fall and have a broke bone here or here, 70% die in less than 3 weeks.
Wow.
Because there are small fragments of that bone that fractured.
Right.
It's small. They're starting to circulate in the blood and going to places we don't want to go.
Right.
And it can end up in the brain, in a small part of the brain, and so on, or in the heart, and so on. 17% of the people after 65 that fall and get a broken bone, they die in 3 weeks.
Yeah, makes sense.
And why they're falling, some of them?
Right.
Because they don't have enough strength.
Interesting. Balance and strength.
They don't have strength. When they have strength, especially in the forearms, to grab when they go down to the stairs.
Ah, that's a good point.
They cannot keep grab to
they're about to fall. Exactly.
To the hand with the I don't what's the handle name in English.
Yeah, no, the handle exactly.
The handle. Okay.
Yeah. Because it's a natural reaction when you're falling.
They don't have enough strength in the forearm.
Right.
And as I say, I don't want to get up to at 110 and not be able to travel to put my luggage in the airplane top.
This is a fantastic point because there was a doctor on YouTube the other day saying that grip strength is a really good indicator of longevity. And I'm like, what do you mean grip strength? He's like, the stronger you can grip things, the more chance of you living longer. It's
just because they're measuring already this. I know because I was in a national team and they always get us to the once a year. They give us some measurements like from everything. Right. From the knee to the reaction of the muscle, the ear, the dental problems and so on. Sure. You know why? Because we go in a training camp and then to a competition. You cannot end up in a competition with a problem with I cannot compete because I have a terrible pain here. Right. I didn't sleep and so on. Sure. Some people, some national teams of football and so on, they have stay 1 week competing or 2 weeks in the Olympics and so on. They have in perfect shape. So they get us there. They measure only 2 things: grip strength with the machine and deadlift. They have a small. I couldn't. There is too low. You know, we always go to the top with this measurement, but this one no. But this because it's an indicator of the overall strength.
Overall strength, right? Okay.
Overall strength, not because of it's overall strength. They measure this and they think that the whole body is in good shape.
That's interesting. So, from what I know, there are 3 pillars of health: your muscles, your strength, your cardiovascular, and
even more important,
and your flexibility, right? So, how flexible you are you stretching? Are you doing yoga? Would you say, do you do any cardio or stretching, or are you just purely muscle?
Pure muscle, but right. There is a measurement. We go again in the medical field. Muscle. They give you a score of 3, an advantage of 3 over the non-people to predict the longevity for the not dying from the diseases in the next 5 years.
Okay.
strength. The more power you have,
Yeah.
the better this number it is.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
But aerobic maximum capacity
Yes.
gives you at 5.
Right. VO2 max.
VO2
Yeah,
max,
that's
it gives you the number of 5.
Okay.
So it's better than strength.
Better than strength.
Combine them two.
Right.
Flexibility is not going there.
Okay, fine then. Sorry to the people that do yoga, but
No.
apparently that's not as useful.
No, doing yoga, it comes with another things. You know, you say you do bodybuilding and so on. If you don't take steroids, because they get you sick,
Yeah.
you're going to live longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you just do bodybuilding naturally, you're going to live longer. If you take steroids, you're going to live shorter than
Sure,
usual.
Sure, we know that.
Okay,
Yeah.
it affects your heart, it affects your hormonal system and so on. And I would say that do both. But every you do bodybuilding or you do yoga, or it comes with another thing. You just not just yoga, not just bodybuilding.
Sure.
You are going to the gym to do bodybuilding. You are already thinking about changing your eating habits.
Right, yes, correct.
Doing yoga, you are starting thinking, I'm not smoking anymore because I'm doing yoga.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. So you include some changes in other area, positive changes in other area of your lifestyle. So it's not just bodybuilding. Bodybuilding pushes you to, with discussion at the gym, what is good to eat, this is not good, alcohol in sport,
they don't mix well.
Don't mix well,
Exactly.
it's bad for your liver, and so on. So I would say the yoga is good because you are doing some stretching positions, but it's not only that.
It's relaxing.
It's relaxing. It's your mind also important. If you are a stressed person,
Yeah.
you know, stress. Why it's important? Stress. They put a mouse in a cage, and they bring a cat every day near, and the cat trying to get the mouse couldn't. That cat lived shorter than the other cat brothers. Put in another room with no cat. So every day 5 minutes stress, intense stress.
It's good for you.
It gets him dead earlier.
Oh, it killed him earlier.
Yeah, because the cat was coming and trying to get him.
Really, I thought it'd be actually like
he didn't. The cat couldn't get him because he's in the cage. But the stress killed him.
The stress killed him.
Now, so the stress, why it's killing you? And it's saying in Romanian is dying of bad heart, I guess, black heart, and some I don't know if it's in English something like this.
Similar to that. Yeah,
okay. How it's coming? We have a big frontal cortex, bigger than animals. If they encounter a danger today, it was a stress, but tomorrow in the wild, you don't encounter again and again. You have now and then. You forgot about them. But humans, because we have a big frontal cortex, you're going to remember like it's right now.
Right.
The stress.
Right.
So your spouse dumped you. Your wife dumped you. And after 2 years, you can find guys saying that she destroyed my life.
Yeah, you still
crying after 2 weeks, after 2 years.
Yeah.
If she wouldn't do that, you keep thinking, what the moment triggered that?
Right, right.
So you are stressed 2 years in a row.
Right.
What the stress is doing to you? The imminent stress is adrenaline, or this kind of stress that you are thinking, it's cortisol releasing.
Yes.
It's a hormone stress. And the hormone stress, it's impairing your the other hormone, testosterone, or the woman.
Estrogen.
Estrogen, okay. They are very important for your health, for your metabolism.
Absolutely.
For your immunity.
Yes.
So when you think about a bad event in your life, somebody died in your life close to you, or something bad happened, and you keep moaning about this and keep telling people about this. After 1 year, after 2 years of bad thinking, stress is releasing hormones every day, because when you think, it's like it's happening now.
Wow.
So bad thoughts can get you sick, because your immunity is weak. The question is, good thoughts, can you make you?
Can they heal you and make
you better? Can they heal you? Can they make you better? And the answer is yes.
Okay.
Because it's improving your well-being by improving your testosterone.
Sure.
You are not stressed. You are pushing away the stress from your body. So this yoga, it helps you with this.
Absolutely.
Also, it's changing your lifestyle. I was on bodybuilding because I was hooked on that. and I'm doing only that because all my energy is going to that. I should do aerobics also because it gives you that score.
It does, yeah.
It's better score.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because a bodybuilder might not necessarily have a high VO2 max.
Yeah.
He's certainly strong, but can the guy run a marathon? Can he walk without getting tired?
Well, yeah, I don't have to.
Sure.
You don't have to ride a marathon, but
of course,
after all, the marathon cannot lift my weights. We cannot, both of us cannot do the yoga positions they are doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything comes with a advantage.
Yeah.
I'm on this because I love to do this, and give him a score. Yeah. I can get a better score. I am so not so careful now with my food, but I used to be for 40 years.
Wow.
I'm now and then occasionally drink something, but I never get drunk.
Right.
But it's like when I go out in town, I drink something because I'm not longer competing.
Exactly.
But
you still have the same habits. You're not going to suddenly turn into an alcoholic.
No. I don't drink every day.
Right.
I don't. Maybe I drink every other week or every 2 weeks, maybe 1 month. If I go in town, sometimes and I celebrate something, we drink something like a cocktail or something. I'm not a heavy drinker or everyday drinker or every week drinker.
Right.
No, I'm not. Right. So I'm carrying out in my regular life the habits of all the life. And I'm looking how much carbohydrates I eat and so on, because I'm used to this. Sure. After 40 years, you get used to it.
Exactly.
And I love to lift weights, and I love the fact that I still looking quite muscular for my age.
Absolutely.
And I know that it's good to have big muscles because it's your metabolic organ, the most important metabolic organ.
Right.
The biggest one, I don't know if it's the most important,
sure.
but it's the biggest one, and you can push there carbohydrates if you eat in excess and so on.
Right.
And I'm trying to enjoy life, to travel a lot. I've been in 26 countries. Now I don't compete anymore, but going to the competition in different countries. I competed also in the United States, in France, in Russia, in all Europe, and so on. And I've got to see the world, and I have a bug. I want to see more and more. And I was in 26 countries so far, and I don't want to go again like you did in Romania 8 times.
Right.
I prefer
to
go
new places.
New places. Every time new places.
It's interesting because you've lived in Romania your whole life.
Yes.
Have you ever had a desire to live elsewhere, or you love your country? Are you patriotic?
Yeah, it's not like I'm patriotic, but I feel I'm from here. I don't think it's necessarily a patriotic thing, but here I made my career, and I was very good. And I don't know if I would have stayed in America when I was first time and working there and so on. I was national champion. I was having my TV show for 2 years and so on.
Yeah.
What's the point to go there? It was a well-developed country with nicer roads, buildings, and so on than Romania. But I made it here. Yeah. I built a good life for me here, and I feel I belong here. I have friends here.
Wonderful.
I have my family here, my
now
daughter.
You have your granddaughter.
My parents were at that time living there. I didn't know. I mean, if you go, I would always think that the first generation, it's like a sacrifice generation. They don't belong there. They don't belong back home.
Right.
Because they have family back home.
Yeah.
They miss them a lot.
Yeah.
The old friends and so on. If you come back every 2 years, it's not the same. Like the friends are having their stuff going on. They didn't see you for a lot of time.
Right.
I didn't thought think of this stuff. Mm-hmm. But now if I think just now I'm thinking that this is good to stay in your place if you can make it.
Exactly.
If you can make it good, if you can make it big in your place, stay there.
Sure.
It's the best to be successful in your hometown.
Right.
It's the best life because your peers are looking up to you.
That's right.
You are a role model, and nothing enhances your life like giving back to them, to your children, to your grandchildren, like I'm doing now, to teach him that the life is beautiful. You can make it anywhere. You can have a good life here now. You can see you can make it now. It's different. 18 years ago, it was not like this.
Yeah.
Now it's better. It's going to be better.
Absolutely.
10 years from now, and so on. And society is going up.
The one thing I would say if I'm talking to you is your positivity. You're constantly positive, you're disciplined, and you just seem like a happy guy. It doesn't seem like you've been, I don't know, have you been through difficult times? Have you had like mental health issues? Have you had bouts of depression? From what it sounds like you've loved what you've done your whole life. You turned your hobby into a profession, and you're just genuinely a positive, inspirational guy. Could it just be because you've been weightlifting for so long and you're exercising and you're healthy? So your body's healthy and your mind is
it's
healthy?
very important to be healthy,
But your mind also seems really healthy. You seem like very clear about where you are, what you've done. You don't feel like you're aging. There's no secret to it. It just sounds like...
I would say so. Just read a lot in all fields of life, but mostly about... I read mostly about the body and the training and so on, but also other kind of books. I mean, I was
going to ask, any other interests aside from sports and fitness?
Yeah, cosmos.
Right, okay.
Universe.
Lovely.
And I enjoy seeing those now. We didn't have YouTube when we were young.
Yeah.
It started in '95.
Right.
And but I was reading books of science fiction and traveling to stars and so on. I still look now at the YouTube movies about new discoveries and the Voyager we sent back then in '70s.
That's right.
It's at the edge of the solar system
edge of
now.
our solar system. How fascinating is it that golden Voyager, we put a map on the Voyager so that if aliens actually come across it...
We have a gold disc.
That's right.
My question is, it was all those years.
Right.
I don't know if you read somewhere's answer. How the hell are they gonna work this stuff and see? Because back then it was like we have those vinyl discs for music.
Yeah, that's right.
It's something like that. It is.
Yeah.
But if I go now to a child and show him a phone, I show him to a child a phone with those those round.
The twisty ones.
Twisty ones.
Exactly.
Yeah. They don't know how to.
He wouldn't even know how.
No, they don't know how to make the number.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to. They don't know.
Yeah.
I was asking how an alien would look at this. How it's gonna work?
So you're absolutely right, but fascinatingly.
But the sounds, we put that sound.
We put some old songs. There's like
but the sounds. We make sounds in this environment because we have air.
Yes, that's right.
What if the aliens, they don't have sounds?
Correct. They wouldn't know how to read it.
They don't have their kind of air, the gases. They have different kind of gas. They're not resonating the same.
Correct.
So, but we're reading all kind of stuff of this. We're going in another direction now.
No, but that's
fascinating. Also, but it's another kind of podcast.
Absolutely. That's another 2 hours, which we'll do next time. Absolutely. Yeah, I want to start wrapping this up. I think we've almost done a couple of hours. The one thing I want to touch on is, if you look at rates of testosterone over the past 20, 30 years...
It's dropping.
It's dropping scarily.
In male population, without doing anything.
This is tragic, obviously. We know that it's absolutely tragic that testosterone is falling.
A lot of men are infertile because of this.
How do you feel about this? Doesn't this... Because it hurts me.
And the aspect of the body is becoming more feminine in some men because of this.
I mean, why is that happening? I kind of know the answer, but I want to get an opinion of you as to why natural testosterone rates are plummeting across men, across the whole planet.
Obviously, it's a change of habits, of the way we are living, a part of it, I think. But let's ask the scientists to look in the genes. We are becoming so many. Isn't that a way to regulate the population? Do we have in the genes something like that it's going there and changing this because they figure out like we are like a bee in a home of the bee,
right.
Too many, and it's changing because I've heard that after the war more boys are born in that community that lost a lot of men in the war.
Yeah.
How the nature is knowing that there are not enough boys? There is needed to have more boys population. Do we have something that regulates this in our genes?
Wow, it's an interesting question. Are you saying biologically, evolution-wise, we're saying...
When you become too many,
okay,
Isn't that possible? We have to ask scientists to take this. It's my idea.
It's a theory. Yeah.
It's a theory of mine.
It's like a conspiracy theory, actually.
But why is more boys appearing as in population? More boys are birth compared to little girls when the war are finished and there are not enough men in the population.
That is a question.
Who is regulating this?
Yeah. Are you saying it could be part of nature?
It could be a change made by the nature.
Wow.
To stop growing the population.
I would have thought that it's a societal change, because if you look at how modern society is going with feminism, the rise of feminism, i.e. women becoming more independent, and let's be honest, the modern man is not like the classic man. The modern man, a picture of the modern man looks a bit more feminine. You can pin it more on, you can pin it more on the food we are eating, let's say, because it's with hormones inside and so on. That too.
Because they inject, for example, how it, in Australia they started to use synthetic testosterone. Mm. They use a substance, testosterone for cows.
Right.
Because there is a huge distance from their growing, the field where the cows are growing, and they travel like weeks to the port ship, where they are, and they lose money because they are shrinking in size.
Right.
And they inject it with synthetic hormones to stay the same way, to grow the muscles on them.
And we're eating that.
And we are eating meat with the hormones. It may happen it may happen as I say in my theory, that it's self-regulating for the population. Mm-hmm. It may be more factors, but this is another discussion and for another time.
Literally, we have another time. We could cover so much more. We could go into astrophysics, we could go into hormones in food. We've talked so much.
I'm not so sure I'm so good in other fields, but this one I'm pretty sure I read a lot. If I read and I made mistakes, I will see 50 years from now.
Sure.
If I reach to 110.
I hope so.
Or if I have a very strong and healthy life, that's also important. Your healthy life, hope, because there are people that after 60 they are not healthy.
Yeah.
The healthy life's hopes, it's something different for the how long you can live. But if you live in a wheelchair, or only in the bed, or you cannot just survive, it doesn't help my point of view that you have to work, and you have to, if you are working and eating good, and you can be very strong and use your life to enjoy life. So they are saying they're injecting life in your ears.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to wrap up, I want the viewers to know what you're currently up to now. You're still personal training, and where they could potentially find you if they were to contact you for a personal training session. Where can people find you? Because I found you on Instagram. I googled your name. I saw your IG. Where else can we locate you online? If they want to call you for a session.
I will start pretty soon some YouTube channel and so on.
I think you absolutely should.
But right now only on Instagram.
Okay.
Or so I have Yahoo Mail or so, but.
Can they direct message you on Instagram? If they, do you read your Instagram direct messages?
Not every time. But no, but if there is a message, it's not commenting. Don't comment there. I don't always read all the comments on the pictures.
Okay, so
but if they send a message,
direct messages.
Okay,
perfect. So they should direct message you on Instagram, and if they type in Luciano Florin into Google, which I did, I typed in your name, which they'll see typed perfectly at this. When I post this podcast, they can Google you. The first thing that comes up your Instagram, click that, and then you can direct message him. The man obviously reads all of his DMs, and that way you can contact him if you're interested in
bodybuilding, not in astrophysics.
Exactly. Man, thank you so much for coming. It's been so long. It's been 18 years since I've seen you, and you were also an inspiration in my life back then, because when you turned up with your blonde hair, I was like, who's this Arnold Schwarzenegger version 2, like walking around Romania?
No, I was blonde because I was filming. I was in a movie.
Oh, that was your movie times?
Yeah, movie times. I was, they are trying to make a series of a superhero, and so on. Didn't go well.
Oh no!
Didn't make money out of this.
No, it didn't.
Just only some fame and so on, and I was in a movie and so on. But no, didn't make money out of this.
Right. Okay. Too bad.
So my Hollywood career
wasn't flourishing. Not quite Arnold's version. Well, fair enough. I do remember that time because the body that you had on the beach, everyone was looking at you on the beach in Mamaya. Everyone was like, this guy is in perfect shape. And I was still 18, I was still a young kid, I was looking at you and it was inspirational. It was like, right.
But it's also the fact that back then there are not so many bodybuilders in Romania. You can't see a lot of people like this on the beach, like me. But now there are a lot of young people looking like this. So they are not every 5 meters, but you can see.
You can see, but it's still very, very rare. I'll be honest with you, I live in Miami Beach, and that is somewhere where you would think you have some of the most beautiful, wealthy, bodybuilder, rich people.
Of bodybuilding,
exactly. You'd think so. But, you know, I'm not trying to be arrogant here, but when I walk down the beach, I have a top 1%, top 0.1% body. Out of 500 men, or maybe out of like 200 men, one man has a stellar body. And you'd be like, wow. So really, it's not, I know you think there are more and more people with better bodies, but you'd be very surprised when the everyday person walking down the beach in Miami or walking down the beach in Mamaya, the proportion is still very, very small of men who have fantastic bodies compared to men who still think the dad bod is attractive.
Well, when you put them to do what the champions has to do to look like this,
then they can't handle it.
They can handle it.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of young people coming there, and from the very first week they tell me, I want to be very strong, I want to be like a champion. Can you do, can you do it? He said, are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm saying, no. Can you do it?
Right.
See? And then after a week, they just disappear. It's too much.
Just like that guy back then who said, my friends are going to the party, I'm going to quit this and I'm going to do that. And then he had a heart attack. Look at the choices that you made and look at the choices that he made. Look at the two different paths in life. It's fascinating to see that you were on the right side.
Well, I can't say. Who can say who is on the right side and the bad side?
That is another philosophical question we're opening up here.
Maybe he enjoyed his going to the party all his day life. He wanted to live like this. So he was his choice. Yeah. Who are we to judge him? His life. I want to live like this. I want to travel in the world. I want to enjoy another 50 years of good life. Yeah. To be strong, to be on my feet. He wanted to party.
Right.
He burned very fast and early.
Yeah. Fascinating way to end this podcast on a philosophical note. Thank you once again, and I hope to see you soon. And let's do this again.
Okay. Ciao.
Ciao.